The purpose of this video is to go over the instructions for Lab 10 in CSC 120. So what we are going to do is we're going to have get practice with methods of the string class. So we're going to be processing text strings in a Java programming interface, a graphical user interface. Okay, so to start, what you will do is we're going to give you a starter program. And so you want to right-click on this link to muframe.java and save it in the source folder of your project. Okay, so I have done that before I started the video. And so here I have my muframe. And well, let's take a look at it. Okay, so of course you want to change the name here and the date and everything. But the given program, and of course the name here of the, put your name there. What we are going to do is add methods to this muframe program. So the process input button, action performed, right now there's only one method that we call. It's called capitalized input text. And then we print a line of double underlines, or the equal signs. Okay, so that's what happens when the button is going to be clicked. And so when we call this capitalized input text, okay, here's a method that declares two string variables, user input and output value. User input is set to the text that was entered by the user in the input field of the interface. And then we are calling the toUpperCase method on the user's input and storing the result in output value, and then we are appending that to the output area. So toUpperCase is a method of the string class. If you call that with a string to the left of the dot, it will convert all the lowercase letters in the string to their uppercase equivalents. Okay, and so if I run this program, you'll see that we have this interface here. And if I type something in the box here, like, I don't know, CSC 120 is really fun. Okay, now what toUpperCase is going to do, any character that is not a lowercase letter will be unchanged, but any lowercase letter will be converted to its uppercase equivalent. So when I click to process input, okay, it shows all capital letters is CSC 120 is really fun in all caps. You see that? Okay, so that's the given program. And now your task is to add more code to the program to produce more kinds of output. And rather than have a big long description of that, we give you a sample of what the finished version of the lab should look like. Okay, so here is the sample of what the finished version should look like. And you notice that not only is it going to take the input and display it in all capitals, but it's going to do it in all lowercase letters with a question mark at the beginning and the end, the first character, the last character. So in order to do that, you need to use different methods of the string class, which is described in the instructions. Okay. Now, the way to do this is to add one method at a time to your program. So you're going to be building your program piece by piece, and I'll go through the first step here for you to sort of show you what you need to do. So when the user types something in the input field, the program should produce all of the output shown in the example. So you want to complete each of the other kinds of output one at a time. Okay, so add a method that will display the output in the JText area. Okay, and then you also have to call that method from the action performed for the button. So add a line of code to call the new method. All right. So what was the second example there? It was supposed to take, all display the input in all lowercase letters. All right. So we can do that. We could say, okay, so here's what we would do. Okay, we have a method called capitalize input text. So we will copy that entire method. Don't forget the closing curly brace at the bottom of the method. Copy that, and then paste. Now, it doesn't like that because you can't have two methods with the same name. But we can rename this convert input to lower case. Okay. And now this structure of this one can be pretty much the same, except that instead of calling to uppercase, we want to call to lowercase. Because that will take any uppercase letter, convert it to its lowercase equivalent, leaving the other characters alone. And then you want to change this heading here. Make sure that the heading is printing the right thing. And then it's always good to change this to the name of the method so that you don't get confused down here. Okay, so now we have a method that will convert the input to lowercase. If I run the program now and type in my same input that I'm sure everybody agrees with, CSC 120 is really, really fun. Okay, click the process input. Hey, wait a minute. Where's the lowercase output? I have uppercase output. Why don't I have lowercase output? Well, I didn't do everything that it said in the instructions. Go back and look at the instructions. You're supposed to add a method, which we did. We called it convert to lowercase, right? But then we need to, so the program has the capability of doing that, but we never asked it to do that when the button was clicked. We need to add a line of code in the process input button action perform method to call the new method. So for every method that you make for this particular lab, okay, you're going to want to, not only do you need to make the new method, but then it's called, this one is called convert input to lowercase. So up here in the process input button action performed, we want to say convert input to lowercase and empty parentheses. Okay, and then it'll do that. Now when I run the program and click the button, it'll do both of those in the order that I specified. CSC 120 is really, really fun. And notice the CSC now is in lowercase letters. Okay. All right. So that is a tour of the lab, and work back and forth. Do it one method at a time here, copying and pasting. Not every method that you call is going to work on strings or return a string, so you have to be careful about the return values and what you're working with. But work from this image that is the final image here, and make sure it's in this particular order. Okay? And in order to do that, we give you a hint. You might want to use the plus operator for building a larger string out of smaller pieces. And these are some of the methods that you might find helpful for working on this assignment. And here's a link to a list or sort of a description of the various methods of the string class. Okay? All right, so good luck with Lab 10, and if you have any questions, as always, consult your instructor.